Brian Meyerson. I'm a transplant recipient. I received a combined kidney pancreas transplant in June 1999. 24 years later, I'm here still talking about organ donation and increasing the organ donation rate.
So my name's Rob Manning, and I am a forever grateful recipient of a life-saving organ transplant which took place on New Year's Eve of 2021 into 22. My involvement with organ and tissue donation is now I'm a passionate and vocal advocate.
The Human Tissue Act Amendment Ante-mortem Interventions Bill 2023 aims to increase the number of organs available for transplantation from donors in New South Wales, and also improve those organs' quality by allowing simple ante-mortem interventions to take place.
At the moment, as I understand it, we're really not allowed to do anything much in terms of ante-mortem interventions on somebody before they've actually been declared deceased.
We know that if we give a blood thinning agent, intravenous heparin, immediately prior to withdrawal of life support, we know that this is protective for the organs during this withdrawal of life support, because it's when you turn everything off, it's like subjecting the heart and the other organs to a heart attack. There's no blood supply, the blood will start to clot, and if it clots too much, that organ becomes unusable. And we know that if we give a drug like heparin immediately prior to withdrawal of life support, it increases our chances of recovering the heart and the liver in particular, as well as the other organs.
But it would also, for those organs that we currently use, improve their quality, which can mean less chance of that organ failing down the track. And I'm a liver transplant surgeon, so we see problems from small blood clot issues destroying the bile ducts, which don't actually become apparent for 6 or 12 months later, and then often we'll need to then retransplant those people down the track with another organ. And so that's obviously awful for that recipient. It's also expensive and inefficient.
If someone's registered to be an organ donor, obviously they want their organs to be in the best possible condition for transplant, and having the opportunity to use ante-mortem interventions does that. And it's donor families and donors are always so willing to do so much to optimise the organs for transplant, and we never stop being grateful.
Importantly, the bill requires doctors to be satisfied that the ante-mortem intervention will not hasten the potential donor's death or cause more than minimal harm.
Once they decide to withdraw treatment, that is when the ante-mortem interventions happen. And there is nothing more distressing for families who agreed to go through with the organ donation, then to find out afterwards that some medical procedure precluded the organ donation from. So this intervention allows the fulfillment of their wishes, both the donor and the donor family's wishes, to become an organ donor. And I think that's a really important social impact, and impact particularly on those donor families.
Just today we had a DCD retrieval. The team went to the hospital and they found that this donor had quite severe coronary artery disease when the heart was removed. Now that only became apparent when the heart was removed and was being inspected, and it was immediately obvious this heart was not transplantable. Now, had we been able to get a coronary angiogram performed on this donor prior to sending the team out, that would have meant we wouldn't have needed to send a team at all. That would have simplified it for the other groups who are retrieving organs, and it's obviously a much more efficient process. This was a $50,000 exercise to send a team out to come back empty-handed.
People like Greg Piper, who have seen the need for this legislation, he's worked with the team at Donate Life and New South Wales Health to understand the impact that this legislation can have. It's that sort of compassion that we need, because the families who make this decision to say yes are doing so at the toughest time of their life. They've just learned that their loved one's never coming home. And in the next breath they're going to be asked, whether they'll consider letting their loved one be operated on so that their loved one who's never coming home can save the lives of strangers. Now that takes compassion and love and strength.
At the moment, New South Wales procures 20% less organs per million than the rest of the country, despite having a similar consent rate.
So it sounds like you would support the bill.
Absolutely, yes. I don't think that there would be many in the transplant world who would think this was inappropriate, and furthermore it really just brings us in New South Wales in line with similar legislation and human tissue acts in other parts of the country and other parts of the world.
Oh yeah, look, I think this is legislation has the potential to save lives, and that's why I'm supporting it.
So I think it's a wonderful, going to be a wonderful benefit for the potential recipients.
We need to have the ability, if their life or if their moral journey is already coming to an end, to try whatever we can to make it possible for other people to get a second chance like I got.